Let me tell you about the day I threw a man into the sea to save my own life, and how I thank God for that man every day since. I can still feel the stones in my hand. That's the thing that stayed with me. Not the wind, not the water, the stones. Little marked lots, rattling in my fist, and the deck pitching so hard under me I could barely stay on my feet. Every man on that ship, crowded and close, soaked through, white faced and waiting, because we'd run out of everything else. We tried everything else a sailor knows to try, and the sea just kept coming up for us. And somebody finally said the thing none of us really wanted to say out loud. One of us has brought this down on all of us. Cast the lots. Find out who. And I remember thinking, God help me. What if it's me? Which is a strange thing for a man like me to think, because back then I didn't have a God to help me. Not really. I had the same handful of gods every sailor carried, the ones you cry out to when the water's coming over the rail. And let me tell you what every one of them did for us that night. Nothing. Not a single thing. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me take you back a few hours. I'd done this crossing more times than I could count. I knew that sea. I knew her moods. The way you know a person you lived beside your whole life. And what came down on us that day wasn't weather. It came out of nowhere. One moment, we had a good wind and a clean sky. The kind of day you thank your luck for. And the next, the sky went pitch black, and the sea stood up, straight up, like a wall, like something underneath that shoved it up. I'd been through storms, bad ones. This wasn't a storm. A storm has a shape to it, a front, a direction. This came from everywhere, all at once, like the water itself had decided we shouldn't be alive. So we did what you do. We bailed. We lashed down what we could. And when that wasn't enough, when the ship started to groan the way a ship does right before she breaks apart, we started throwing the cargo over the side. And that cargo, that was everything. That was the whole voyage. Every coin we stood to make, months of work, the reason we were all out there. I watched men heave their own wages into the sea with both hands and not think twice, because a drowning man doesn't care about money. So we threw it all over, everything we had. The sea didn't even notice. In fact, she came harder. And that's when it started to sink in, cold, in the pit of me, that this wasn't something we could outwork or outsail. Something was after this ship, and whatever it was, it wanted more than our cargo. That's when we reached for the stones. So we cast them, right there on the heaving deck, in the dark, with the spray coming over us. We threw the lots, and they landed on him, the stranger, the passenger. There was a moment where nobody moved, nobody breathed, and every eye on that ship went to one man, because the lots had named him, and back then we believed the lots. That was how you found the truth of a thing. You let them fall and you trusted what they told you, and they told us it was him. And then I heard it start to move through the crowd, low and under the wind. That guy? That one? And somebody said it, the thing that turned all of us cold. Isn't that the man we found sleeping below? Because he had been. That was the part none of us could get past. While we were up on the deck, bailing with our bare hands, screaming over the wind, throwing everything we owned into the sea to stay alive, this man had been down in the hold, asleep, dead asleep, so far down in it that the captain had to go and shake him awake, and beg him to get up and cry out to his God like the rest of us. Now the stones had fallen on the one man who slept through this barrage. So we turned on him. All at once, all of us. The questions coming so fast there wasn't room to answer them. Who are you? What have you done? What's your work? Where do you come from? What people are you? Why is this happening? What did you do to bring this down on us? And he didn't flinch. That's something I really remember. A ship full of terrified men closing in on him, and this man was calmer than any of us. Like he already knew. Like he'd been waiting for those stones to find him. And he said, I've never forgotten the words. I'll say them to the day I die. I am a Hebrew, and I worship the Lord, the God of heaven, who made the sea and the dry land. The God who made the sea? And something in me went cold. The sea was our lives. Some of us knew nothing but the sea. And this man is claiming that his God is the one who made it? That the water trying to kill us answered to him? I didn't have the words for it then, but I know now what went through me in that moment. And it wasn't relief. It was the first cold touch of fear. A fear I've never felt before. Not the fear of drowning, the fear of this God. Because if that were true, if his God had made the very sea that was standing up to swallow us, then we weren't caught in bad luck. We weren't even caught in a storm. We were caught in the hand of someone, and that someone was not pleased. So we asked him, what else could we do? The sea was getting worse by the minute, every wave bigger than the last. The ship was riding lower, the end of us coming on fast. We asked him straight, what do we do with you? What do we have to do to make this sea go quiet? How steady he said this shakes me. No fear in it. If anything, something like sorrow. He told us to pick him up and throw him into the sea. Can you believe that? Throw him? Into that? Into the very thing trying to kill all of us? And he said it was his fault, that he knew this great storm had come down on us because of him. He said it plain, like a man laying his own head on the block. Throw me over, and the sea will go calm for you. It's me. It was always me. Now, you have to understand something about us, and this is the part I most want you to hear. We did not do it. Not then. Not for a good minute. Because whatever kind of men you think sailors are, these rough and rugged men, and God knows we're not going to pick up a living man, throw him into his death, not while there was any breath of another way. So we went to the oars. We turned that ship back toward the land, and we rowed. We rowed like men possessed, like men trying to row back through their own mistakes. Every man who had an arm on him threw it into those oars. Backs bent, hands splitting open on the wood, salt burning in every crack of us, and the men yelling, pull, pull, pull. And I remember the shore. I could see it. I could see the land. And it would not come closer. We rowed harder, and the sea rose up higher against us, like it was pushing us back, like it knew exactly what we were trying to do and would not allow it. Every stroke we pulled, it shoved us back too. We were strong men, good at the one thing we knew how to do, and I felt that ship losing under us, going backward, in the hand of something we could not outrun. And there's a thing that happens to a man in a moment like that, a terrible thing. The moment you understand, all the way down to your core, that you cannot save yourself, that every strength you have, everything you're proud of, everything you're good at, it's nothing. When that fails, truly fails, I felt it go out of me at that oar, the last of it. The belief we could fix this with our own two hands. We couldn't row our way out. We definitely couldn't buy our way out. We already threw our fortunes to the bottom. There was only one thing left. The one thing we swore we wouldn't do. And that sea would not let us pretend any longer. So we did the thing we swore we wouldn't do. But how we did it, that's the part that matters. Because we didn't do it like men throwing cargo over the side. We'd done that already, easy, without a second thought. This was a man. Before we laid a hand on him, we did something I'd never done in my life. We prayed to his God, the one whose sea was about to take him. We cried out to him, all of us together, the same hard men who never once called on him. Please, Lord, do not let us die for taking this man's life. Do not hold us accountable for killing an innocent man. For you, Lord, have done as you pleased. Begging a God we've never known not to lay this on us. And then we picked him up and we threw him into the sea. And I want to tell you what happened next. And I've had a lifetime to find words for it. And I still don't have them right. Because the sea just stopped. Not slowed, not eased. Stopped. The instant he went under, like a hand had come down flat on the water. The wind gone, the waves gone. The whole raging thing had been trying to kill us for hours, just gone. Still. Quiet enough to hear ourselves breathing. And I'll tell you, the storm had frightened me. But that eerie silence that followed, that put a fear in me I've never gotten over. Because a storm is just weather. Every sailor has seen a storm. But I had never in my life seen the sea obey, stop the second a man hit the water, like it had been waiting for him, like it had only ever wanted one thing. That's not weather, that's a hand, that's somebody. And we were standing right in the middle of what he'd done. Nobody spoke. And then every one of us, the same rough men, went down, right there on the wet deck, on our knees. We were so afraid of him, and we made vows to him, and we gave what we could to him, to the God who made the sea and had just proved it in front of our eyes. I went out onto that water, worshiping one thing, and I came off of it, worshiping another. That's the truth of what that night did to me. But I'll tell you one more thing, and you can make of it what you want. While the others had their heads down praying, I looked back, out at that water, where the man had gone under. I don't know what I was looking for. Some part of me needed to know if he'd come back up. If there was any chance a man could survive a thing like that. But I swear to you, I saw something out there, under the surface, something big, something huge moving down in the still water, just for a moment, and then gone. I never told the others, and for years I told myself it was nothing. My eyes were just playing tricks on me after that night. But I know what I saw. There was more to that man's story than we ever knew standing on that deck. Trust me, I was there.